As Indigenous people within this country, we have been historically excluded from these spaces nationally and internationally that put our lands on the table of negotiations.
Indigenous leaders from around the world, from here in Canada, Brazil, and more, want the negotiations at the UN Biodiversity Conference COP15 in Montreal to be Indigenous-led. At a press conference from Greenpeace Canada, they demanded for Indigenous knowledge to be considered in the decade-defining decisions on biodiversity.
At the opening of COP15, I stood alongside Indigenous youth as we interrupted Justin Trudeau's statement by drumming, singing, and walking out. We made our point peacefully, and I am proud of how we stood in our strength and culturally demonstrated that he is breaking our laws.
As a teen, Ta'Kaiya Blaney addressed the United Nations Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues. On Friday, as part of a Greenpeace Canada press conference, the renowned Indigenous leader from the Sliamin Nation in British Columbia recounted how her generation is witnessing a devastation to their lands.
The ancient coastal rainforests that fed my great-grandparents have been swallowed whole by industrial forestry.
The Lac-Simon First Nation in Quebec, over 400 kilometers north of Montreal, says the government hasn't protected their way of life, their lands.
That's where we're providing medicine, taking our clothing, building some canoes and stuff like that, taking the needs, what we need. And today that's sad, but it's true. But once everything's going to be all partner, what's going to be left for us?
We are the only people who have survived on this land for thousands of generations. If you truly wish to survive with us, you must be willing to let go of colonialism.
Então nós não estamos no centro da discussão.
A leader from Brazil says it's impossible to talk about biodiversity conservation without mentioning Indigenous lands, hoping COP15 will recognize their rights and also take concrete actions to protect their lands.
We cannot accept any more empty promises from Canadian politicians about our futures.
In Montreal, Alyssia Rubertucci, City News.